Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos is probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you need a push by surround yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and this Marcus Aurelius quote will set you on a path to success. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, change your perspective.
The difference between you hating and loving your life is perspective. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That negative situation that you're facing right now will define you. Either you succumb to it and you hate your life forever, or you rise above it and it becomes the greatest blessing of all time. The choice is yours, and I'm going to show you how to conquer it. So you may have noticed that I have this armband on, this really colorful armband. What's the story? I have this on as a reminder to stay in a beautiful state. It's a reminder to myself every day. Now, naturally, I'm pretty optimistic and happy and positive, and I've trained and worked on myself to be even more optimistic and happy and positive, and consume things that make me even more happy and optimistic and positive. But there's still some times that I feel negative. There's still some times that I'm not proud of myself. The classic example for me is when I get interrupted. If I'm working on something and I'm in the zone and I'm focused and I'm building momentum and somebody interrupts me, I can be really short. I can be really rude. I'm not gonna say anything offensive or something that I would regret, but I could be short and rude. And I wanna change that. I don't want anything to knock me out of my beautiful state. At least that's my ambition, that's my intention, that's my goal. If I can get closer to it, I'll be pumped. It's the perspective shift. And so part of my daily routine is I put this on. I don't sleep with this on. At night I'll take it off, and then part of my morning routine is I'll put this on, and it's a reminder as I put it on that I want to stay in a beautiful state today, that I might get interrupted, but I want to be proud of how I deal with it. And then I look at it every day. It's hard not to, right? It's not just some little tiny, wristband. It's giant. And it's colorful and it stands out, and it's a reminder every day as I'm typing. I see it there, I go, yeah, beautiful state, let's go. It also is something that when I'm talking to people, they'll ask me about it because it's a conversation piece. Why am I doing it, right? People are curious, they want to know. And so every time somebody asks me about it, it's a chance to tell the story again. And in telling that story, even now as I'm telling this story, it reinforces for me, this is why I have it on. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so having some kind of trigger that brings it up, it really works for me. I think it could work for you as well. But there's a 3-step process that I follow that I'm going to teach you that I hope helps. Step number 1 is understand that your purpose comes from your pain. This thing that you're struggling with, if it's overwhelming and all-consuming and really negative, is actually probably the greatest gift of all time. Like, your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled with the most in life will be the thing that you help people with for the rest of your life. I love helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. If I didn't struggle as much as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be doing something else. The thing that saved me from my business, from the worst day when I told my partner that I quit, the thing that saved me and kept me going was I modeled success. I looked at Bill Gates, how he started his company, because he was software, I was software. I learned from him and I started growing my company. That was when I was 20 years old. I'm almost 40, 20 years later now. What do I teach people? How to model success. For the past 20 years, I've helped how many people? I don't know, 300 million people plus have seen my content across my channels. That's a crazy number. All because I suffered when I was 19, 20 years old. Your purpose comes from your pain. The point of having that pain is not to just sit in that pain and say, woe is me, and complain about it and feel like your life is over. No, the point of that is to see, man, I suffered so much here. I want to stop suffering for other people. There's lots of people who are currently feeling like the way you used to feel. Think about who you were a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Think about the worst moment of your life, whenever that was. There's lots of people who are currently feeling like that, and you can help them. You can save them. That's your purpose. And doing that will lift you up for the rest of your life. It will never get old. Remember, your purpose comes from your pain. Step number 2 is have play bigger triggers. Play bigger triggers are things in your environment that remind you to step up into the world that you want to become a part of, that keep you from staying in the same zone you're in, that step up to the next level. And so I like having things in my environment. I encourage you to do so as well, because you might have the greatest day of all time, but you wake up tomorrow, it feels like you're starting over from scratch. You're starting over from the beginning. But when you set up your environment, it creates that trigger every day. Having Steve Jobs here and A.P. Giannini, my favorite entrepreneur, my parents and Howard Schultz and Kanye West behind me, I set that up once, but it's a reminder every day when I walk into my office. I walk into my office, I'm looking at my computer, I'm working, I got Steve Jobs staring me down, right? I got Steve Jobs looking at me, I got A.P. Giannini here, I walk in and these people are staring me down, Evan, let's go, right? It's a reminder to me, and maybe that sounds crazy, but what is it for you? What's the thing for you? What's your play bigger trigger that you can set up once in your environment and then it happens every single day? This is a play bigger trigger, right? Why do I have this? It's a play bigger trigger to remind myself to live in a beautiful state every day. So if you're thinking about your physical environment is a great place, right? Your office, your bedroom, your car, like your physical environment. Where are you hanging out a lot in, and what can you put there as a reminder to play bigger every day? Your physical body, right? I wear this t-shirt, look at this t-shirt, right? A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, but in her wings. Believe in yourself, right? I wear this, like I wear my stuff for me. It's a reminder every day when I'm putting this on. And it's this shirt or the Rebel shirt or the Believe shirt. I've got a mannequin right behind the camera of my hoodie on a mannequin, because I feel like I'm a superhero every time I put on the Believe clothing. And so when I saw Green Arrow, they had the mannequins wearing the outfits, and so I wanted to have it in mind. I'll show you. Look, let's make this quick because this thing is heavy. Look at this thing. This is giant. Huh. This is bigger than life size. Look, it's bigger than me. This thing is taller than me. And wow, it just hit me in the face. So I have this in my office, right behind the camera. And I look at it. I'm a superhero. What I do is superhero work. This is a reminder. It's a play bigger trigger. That thing is heavy. So, physical environment, right? What you wear on your body, right? And then also I think about your screen time. So what's on the background of your desktop computer? What's on the background of your cell phone? Things that you're looking at every day, that when you see it, it's a reminder, I need to step up. I need to play bigger. And that's different for everybody. Maybe the statue means nothing to you. Certainly having a picture of my parents on your wall, means nothing to you. But if you can find the things that you set up once that make you feel like you come alive and put that in your environment and you look at it every day, it'll force you to think bigger. It'll pull you into a different level. Even though the rest of your environment, you can't control maybe where you're living or your community or a bunch of other stuff right now, but you can't control that. And if you do that, it'll pull you up. And then step number 3 is say it's the best. It's the best. This is what I do whenever I can't control the situation, whenever I'm stuck in something that I don't want to be a part of, then I say it's the best. And where this came from was I was on a long flight from BC to LA. I was speaking at an event. It's, 4 or 5 hour flight. And I was stuck next to this really smelly guy and I couldn't get off the plane because I'm going to miss my van. It's a sold out flight, so I got nowhere else to go. And I'm stuck next to this guy and he stank. And I'm sure he didn't want to stink, He probably just had a bunch of layovers and stopovers and still he stunk, right? And I'm complaining in my head for 8 to 15 seconds. And then I tell myself, this is the best because I'm stuck. What's my alternative? The alternative is to be unhappy for the next X number of hours as I fly to my speaking gig and then be bad on stage because I've just spent the last X number of hours being frustrated. So no, this is the best. And I turn and I breathe it in because that smelly guy is not stronger than me. And that's what I tell myself in my head. Like, this situation is not stronger than me. This situation is negative, toxic thing that you're involved in right now that you can't get out of. Long term, you're gonna break free. You're gonna get out. You're gonna do something different. But right now, you might be stuck. You may have no other choice. It's the best. It's the best. This thing is what you're most capable of. That's it. You can't handle anything more. I think this is just a warm up. And so that's what I tell myself. This is the best. This is just a warm up. I'm capable of way more. This smelly man does not own me. Let's go. It's the best.
Rule number 2, change your environment.
I think everyone is born an optimist, and then your environment sucks the soul out of most people. When you're a baby, you don't stress out about how you look, what you're wearing, or how you're smelling. When you're a kid, you don't hate your life and complain about the world. If there's negativity in your head, it was put there by someone. And if you want to change it, you need to change your environment. So I've had the good pleasure of seeing one of my friends, Mark Drager, a great friend of the channel, been involved with the channel for a number of years, become more optimistic, become more positive. And he was wondering, could I even do it? Is it possible? He was a guy who was naturally pessimistic. He had a lot of stuff happen to him, like we all have. A lot of situations, a lot of circumstances that made him see the negative of what's happening, of be pessimistic, of not being the typical optimistic, everything's gonna work out great entrepreneur. And so what changed? Over the past 12 months, he's made a significant investment in himself. I've been hanging around with him a lot more. We've co-hosted a podcast together. He's hanging around me, my content, Gary Vee's content, Tom Bilyeu's content more. He's been to Tony Robbins' seminar twice in the past year, brought his team with him, and he's slowly inching towards more optimism, more positivity, that more things are possible. Because of the negative upbringing that he had, it takes a lot of unwiring. It takes a lot of shifting your focus. It takes a lot of, with purpose, with intent, changing your environment, changing the people you hang out with, changing the physical environment that you're in to make a change. I went to Mark's office and he's moving his office. He's creating his own office. He's putting a picture on the wall of himself and then what he wants to be as positive inspiration every day. He's looking at what kind of colors and what kind of furnishings and what kind of decor can I have in my office to make me feel bold, to make me feel alive every single day. It's possible. And I think that's the starting point for a lot of people. It's possible to change your outlook. It's possible to become more optimistic. That negativity that was planted in your head was put there by somebody else who hates their life. You were not born to wake up and hate your life. You were not born to wake up and think that it's just negativity all around the world. You're not born to wake up and be a pessimist. You're not. It was put there by somebody else who hated their life. And we need to eject that person. We need to unwire the years or decades of training. And in that void, you replace it with the thing that you want. If you want more optimism, you surround yourself with the most optimistic people you can find. In person, on your team, in video format, in the books you read, in the clubs you're hanging out with, you first limit access from the negative people, limit exposure. You may not be able to completely wipe them out, like maybe they're your parents. But you can limit exposure, you can limit access, either with time or just topics that you're covering, and then inject more positivity and optimism to the people, books, resources, environment that you have around you. Now, I have a 3-step process for you to follow. I think you're gonna enjoy it. I hope it helps. Step 1 is create a 254. So the 254 series I made, we've got, 5 or 6 of them, where every day for the next 254 days, I send you a video on a different topic. So it could be about self-love, it could be about confidence, it could be about writer's wisdom, it could be about Black excellence, girl boss. We have a whole bunch of different series that are geared towards helping you feel more confident in a certain area of life. So if you want to have more self-love, then every day for 254 days, I send you a free video. I've talked about it a bunch on this channel. There's links in the description. You can go check it out. It's absolutely free. But whether it's coming from me or you find your own source, you need to create your own 254. You need to create your own thing that every day you're consuming that slowly starts to shift your perspective on things, that slowly makes you feel like this is actually possible. I made my channel selfishly for me. I wanted to be around Elon Musk and Tony Robbins and Oprah on a daily basis and get their messages in my head to make me feel like more is possible, that this is not my final resting place. And then I share it with you guys, and thankfully you like it too. So you need to create your own version of that. I made my channel for me. I made the 254s for you. Maybe I haven't picked the right one. My goal is to have 1,000 254s. Now, why 254? Because it takes 18 to 254 days of successive action for a habit to form. The average is 66 days. So if you're trying to start a new habit, it takes an average of 66 days for you to form it. The fastest case is 18 days, and the slowest, the worst case is 254 days. So I made the 254 series because even if you are the slowest learner, the slowest human alive, the most stubborn person, I'm going to be there with you every step of the way for 254 days. So whatever the habit is you want to build, if it's optimism, then surround yourself with something, some resource, some information, some video, some book. Every day you're consuming microdosing every single day, you will become it. Step number 2 is collect good people. I have the same where I love collecting good people. I love collecting people who make me feel more energetic, positive, happy, belief. When you find somebody like that, collect them, hold on to them, even if you don't know how it's going to work out yet. I was driving through the desert thinking about my buddy Mark, and I thought we should do a podcast together. I don't know why I thought that. It just came to me. I don't consume a single podcast. But I thought, you know what? I like Mark. I like Mark's energy. It'd be fun to do something together. He loves podcasts. Why don't we do a podcast together? And he said yes. And ever since then, that night we made our first podcast while I was on the road. And ever since then, every week we've done a new podcast. You can go check it out. It's called the Something Approved Podcast. Comes out at least once a week. Collect good people. Think about the people in your life right now who make you feel good about yourself, who make you feel more belief in yourself, who make you feel more confident, more optimistic, more positive. Who are those people? And then try to find a way to spend more time with them. Whether it's a weekly coffee you're hanging out, whether it's an actual project you can work on together, try to find those people that make you feel like you come alive. There's already a few. There's probably not enough in your life right now, but there may be 1 or 2 or 3. Try to spend more time with them, and then keep your radar open, your spidey senses tingling for people that you meet that make you feel great, and try to collect them and do work together. And number 3 is damn the Doritos. Damn the Doritos. Why do I have this here? People keep leaving comments. When are you gonna eat the Doritos? I'm not gonna eat the Doritos. The whole idea of having this Doritos, they are not a sponsor of the channel. The whole idea of having the Doritos here is because I love Doritos. I wanna eat these things every single day. I want to eat this bag every single day. Even just talking about it, my mouth is watering so much. So we went to Costco and I bought a giant bag of Doritos, and this is where I'm working. This is where I work all day long. My computer's right here. This is how I'm working normally. Right here, there's Steve Jobs, and then there's the giant bag of Doritos right here, kind of staring me down every day. And what this is a reminder. It's a reminder that I'm stronger than the Doritos. Because damn the Doritos. Because the Doritos aren't going to win. The Doritos aren't going to beat me. And so my ultimate goal for you in changing your environment is, yes, we want to inject more. We want to create a 254 for ourselves. We want to change our physical environment. We want to collect good people and be around them. But my ultimate goal is also that when you are around negativity, when you're around something that can drag you down, that you can still be in the same room and it doesn't drag you down. This is proof to myself every day how awesome I am. At least that's the story that I'm telling myself, right? I'm not going to eat those Doritos today. I'm not gonna eat those Doritos today. I'm stronger than the Doritos, damn the Doritos. My ultimate goal for you would be when you're around someone who is negative, when you're around a toxic environment, when you can't change something, this is your chance to show yourself what you're made of. That you are now better, you've grown, you're a different human being, you can handle being around it. I think that's ultimately where your self-confidence comes from, the ability to do difficult things. And so steps 1 and 2 are bring in more positivity. And if you need to eliminate some of the negativity, awesome, I love it. Cut off exposure, cut off access, and bring in more positivity every day. And then get to the point where there's so much optimism, belief, vitamin C injected into you that if somebody comes to you with their negativity and they sneeze on you, you're not catching a cold because you've done the work. And if anything, you're gonna create a gravitational pull that makes them feel more happy, more optimistic, more positive. If I'm hanging around a negative person, if I'm around a negative person every day, they will become more positive. It's just gonna happen. My gravitational force is so big around belief, it's my one word, you're not gonna get me to go anti-belief. It just won't happen. I just believe in you so much, I'm gonna suck you in to belief. You will love your life more. You will do greater things just by being around me every day. And I think that's what I want for you as well. It's not about bragging about myself. It's you. I want you to have that same impact. That then you can hang around the negative people. You can be close to them. And in that being close, you're not going to go negative. You're going to force them to come more positive.
Rule number 3, love what you do.
This is why it's so important that you love what you do. It's why it's the number 1 rule for success that comes up over and over and over and over again is people love what they do. The people who are winning at the highest level, they love what they do. That allows them to be relentless, because you could talk about being relentless and giving it all you've got and going all in and grinding and giving 110%. But if you don't love it, you're gonna quit. It may not be after a day, it may not be after a month, it may not be after a year, but you're gonna quit. When it gets too hard and you don't love it, you will quit. This is why so many entrepreneurs fail, because you're just chasing an opportunity. You're just looking at the fastest way to make a buck in 2019, in 2020, in 2021, the fastest way to make some money. You're gonna give up unless you love it. Now, money's important, it's gotta be in your top 5, but it's not number 1. It can't be number 1. If money's your number 1, you're gonna fail. You just won't put in the work. The people who win have something that they put above money, and that's what allows them to wake up and be relentless and put in the work. You're looking at a guy here who sucked at making videos. You can go back on my channel, you can watch the first videos. I was nervous, I was shy, I still am an introvert, but it's through practice, through being relentless. I've had my channel for 10 years. I've made 5,000 or 6,000 videos across my more than 4 now, 9 or so channels. 5,000 or 6,000 videos, that's crazy, right? That's crazy, who does that? You have to love it. It doesn't feel like work. Making these videos is fun for me still. 10 years later, it's still fun for me. I'm excited. The second that it gets to be, oh, I gotta make videos, that's it, I'm out. Because the people who love doing it will crush me. I was looking at my YouTube thumbnail examples. I'm doing a YouTube course right now where I'm teaching people how to have success on YouTube, how to get your first 1,000,000 subscribers. Where is it? Get there, that gold button. Get one of those for you, right? You're a thought leader, you're an expert. I want you to get 1,000,000 subscribers. That's the course that I'm launching right now. So I'm looking at my thumbnail experiments. I have 130 thumbnail experiments happening right now on my channel. I'm testing 130 different variations. Then I went to completed, and what we've completed and gone through. 1,100 something completed thumbnail experiments, just on thumbnails. Just testing my thumbnails, we've done over 1,100 different experiments. That's crazy, right? Testing big changes like not having text on a thumbnail and making it purple and crazy colors, to really little tiny changes. Like, what if we just tweak this person's eyes? What if we alter the shade of orange? Just little tiny changes that most of you probably never notice. Why? I love it. I can't help it. I wake up and I think about this stuff, and that's what I want for you. That's what you need to be doing, and it can't be forced. Jerry Seinfeld calls it the torture that you can endure. The torture that you can endure. Most people talk about passion and purpose, which is great, but it's torture for other people. Me stepping into Ed's schedule should be torture for me, because I don't want his life. I don't want to do what he's doing. It should be torture. How much he's working, how much he's grinding, how much he's chasing down his vision should be torture for me. And same thing the other way. Him stepping into my schedule and filming 6,000 videos and doing the work that I'm doing, split testing thumbnails and making content for you, that should be torture for him. If I step into your life, it should be torture for me. If you're an accountant and I stepped into your life, I would hate my life. And no matter how much I listened to videos that said be relentless and keep going and push through, I would quit. I would hate my life so much that I'll never be great at doing this thing. Don't be an accountant if you don't want to be an accountant. You've got to chase down and find the thing that you love. You've got to do the things that give you energy. And that's the big takeaway. Look at what is giving you energy. Look at the activities, the people, the habits, the work that doesn't take energy away, but it lifts you up. If I'm talking to entrepreneurs, it gives me energy. As the night goes on, I only get better. When I do my Thursdays of public facing day of meeting people and doing podcasts and interviews and workshops, I only get better with time. Helping entrepreneurs gives me energy. Pay attention to what gives you energy. Pay attention to the people that give you energy and surround yourself with them more. Pay attention to the activities that give you energy and do more of that. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to go and quit your job and burn the boats and cut all your ties and go all in. You don't have to, but make progress. If every week you made a 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% improvement in the activities and the people that lift you up and give you more energy, man, your life in a year is gonna be dramatically different compared to where you are right now. You have to be relentless, and it comes only by doing work that you love and gives you energy.
Rule number 4, make proper decisions.
You need to make the big decisions in your life with your heart and the small ones with your head. This is where so many entrepreneurs fall down. This is where so many entrepreneurs make mistakes, because you see a trend, you see an opportunity, you see something that makes sense. It just makes sense on paper. It's so clear that this is going to happen. But if it doesn't energize you, if you don't love it, if it's not in your heart to say, man, I can't wait to go off and do that thing, you're never going to win. You're never going to win because you're going up against people who love it. You're going up against people who love it, who breathe it, who sleep it, who dream about it. And for you, it's just an opportunity. You're never going to win big. Look at all your heroes, all your mentors, the people you look up to, the people who've done it. It's like, I want to be like this person in my field. I want to do it like she did it, like he did it. They love doing the thing. They love doing the thing. Doing it gives them energy. I look at what I do. I'm here in Dallas. I'm about to speak at Video Marketing World, an annual summit of some of the top creators on YouTube to help share, give back, help the community, give feedback, train on YouTube. I love doing this stuff. What am I'm in the parking lot filming videos for you guys. Not because it's a strategy, not because I need to make a video a day, because I love it. This is the best. I'm about to go into this meeting, to this conference, and I'm gonna hang out with entrepreneurs all day long. From the time I get in there until whatever time AM, I'm going to be hanging out with entrepreneurs and helping them with their business, helping them with their channel because I love it. And if that sounds exhausting for you, amazing. Don't do it. And if it sounds energizing for you, yes, go and do it. You need to make the big decisions with your heart. And then your head's still important. It's like, don't listen. The message is not don't listen to logic. The message is not don't look for opportunities. It's look for opportunities within the thing that you love. Right? If I love making videos and I love making content and I love helping entrepreneurs, but I went all in on MySpace right now, I'm going to lose. It's not the right strategy, right? You need both. It's working hard plus working smart. It's following what you love doing plus chasing opportunities. But what takes precedence? What's the most important thing? Your heart, the energy. If you are saying, oh man, Monday, if that's your mindset around Monday, you're doing the wrong thing. You're in the wrong career, you're in the wrong business. You will never be the top player in your industry. It'll never happen for you if that's your mindset. If you're itching to get back to it, if you can't wait to go to that meeting, can't wait to code, can't wait to make that piece of art, can't wait to go and make that video, can't wait to sit down and write lyrics for your next song, if that's the thing, then you're going to be successful. It's not going to be easy. It's still a long road. It's still a path. You still have to put in the grind and the effort and use strategies to help you get there faster. But it has to start by doing things that are energizing to you. You're going to spend so much time working. Guys, you're going to spend so much time working as an entrepreneur. Why not do stuff that makes you come alive? Why not do stuff that gives you energy? And so I want you to get out of your head. I want you to stop making decisions first from your head. I want you to stop making decisions only because it's going to help you get some goal. It's short-term thinking, and you're never going to win doing it. Big decisions with the heart. Big decisions that give you energy. Look at your calendar. Are you energized about the week that's coming up? Look at your calendar. Go load your calendar right now. Load it on your computer, load it on your phone, however you're loading your calendar. Look at it. Look at your calendar. Look at the week ahead. Are you excited? Are you excited about what you're about to do? If not, you're doing the wrong stuff. If you're only excited about 10% of your calendar, you're only pouring your genius, your Michael Jordan level talent into 10% of your time, you're not going to get to where you want to go. You need to flip it. Even if it doesn't make practical sense at the beginning. Because all great things are made from the heart. All great things, every great business, every great song, every great creation started from here, from a place of passion, from a place of purpose, from a place of energy. And I want to put some pressure on you guys to go off and chase it down because so many entrepreneurs fail and they lose a lot of money. It's not an easy game. But one of the biggest reasons, if not the number one reason, is because people pick an industry, people pick a business idea solely because they're chasing an opportunity down and they didn't love doing the work. You have to love the work. You have to love the work. Stepping into my schedule should be torture for you. And me stepping into your schedule should be torture for me. I shouldn't be able to last a day in your schedule because I hate it so much. But for you, it's the juice. You love it. So look at that week. Look at your week ahead. And if you're not pumped for it, at least for 80% of it, you're not going to love every single moment of every single day. But if you're not pumped for at least 80% of your calendar of what's ahead, you need to sit down and decide to make a major change in how you're living your life and running your business. Because you're never going to make anything great if you have a calendar full of low energy decisions.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, I've designed a special free training to help you do it. The science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a new habit. And I want that for you. I want you to build the habit of self-belief. So what I'm going to do is email you every day for 254 days a link to an unlisted video that will shift your belief forward. To get on it for free, the link to join is in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
So you have to really want to do it. If it's a bucket list thing that you have to do and you're deeply passionate about it, you have a message that you want to share, or this needs to come out, right? You need to give birth to this thing. It's that important to you. Then you should go out and do it.
1, pick the right things to work on, and then 2, focus on executing those things.
Rule number 5, try things.
There's a reason why in my videos I say you have Michael Jordan level talent. I believe it, it's true. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are the best, the absolute best at something in the world. Most people either 1, don't believe it. They don't believe that they're world class at something. Or 2, they found the thing that they could be world class at, but they don't have enough guts to chase it down. They don't believe in themselves enough to chase it down. Here's the thing. You need to first explore. You need to explore. You gotta search. You gotta say yes. You gotta try things. You don't know that Tim Hortons is your favorite coffee cup until you've tried it, right? You don't know that sushi is your favorite food until you've tried it. Sushi doesn't make sense, right? This is how we think. Our logical brain starts to analyze things, and because it doesn't make sense, we don't try it. Sushi doesn't make sense. You're gonna take raw fish, mix it with rice, put seaweed around it, and then eat it. That sounds nasty, right? If you've never tried it before, it sounds nasty, but it's the best. A lot of the things that you might be great at, you are judging, you are dismissing because it doesn't make logical sense. You don't need to wrap your head around it. You need to wrap your heart around it. You have to feel it. You have to say yes and be willing to try it at least once. If you don't know what you're great at, you have to say yes and try things. And you pay attention to the feeling. The most important thing is you pay attention to the feeling. How did it make you feel? You might not be great at it. I expect not to get results at the beginning of anything, especially if it's a new skill you're learning, right? Expect to suck at the beginning. You're gonna suck. It's okay, it's normal. But how does it make you feel? Does it energize you? Do you wanna come back and do it again? And so for me, in helping entrepreneurs, I had my first speaking gig in Canada at a local YMCA. And I just sold my business, young entrepreneur success story. I was 22 years old, and I'm speaking at the YMCA, and they book off this big room for me, and they have an entrepreneurship program, and they say, hey, can you come and speak to our entrepreneurs? Yes. You know, I'm pumped. I don't know what to do next with my life anyway, because I just sold my company, and I want to get back and help. So yes, let me come and do it. And I prepare for 2 weeks making my presentation, and they're promoting it to their audience for 2 weeks. And then I get to the building, and my palms are a little bit sweaty, and I'm nervous, my heart's beating, get up the elevator, walk to the door, and my heart stops for a second because I look into this big room and only 3 people showed up. 3 people to a free event. And in my head, I'm thinking, how am I ever gonna turn this into a business, right? How will I ever turn this thing into a business if I can only get 3 people to show up to a free thing with a partner? But I did my presentation anyway, I prepared, I didn't wanna let these 3 people down. And it was the best. It filled me up so much knowing that I helped these 3 people out. I can't tell you how great I felt. And then we went to the coffee shop after and continued talking throughout the rest of the night. And I knew that I had to find a way to keep going even though it made no logical sense. And here I am. I'm 39 now. I was 22, right? Still doing what I'm doing, just on a bigger level. I could not tell you that I would be here. I had no idea what it would look like. You need to wrap your heart around it. You need to try. You need to first start by believing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, that you can be the greatest in the world at something. You can be it. And whatever lifts you up on a daily basis, you need to believe it. You need to understand, you need to see it every day, because a one-off day is not enough. And if that means you're watching one of these videos, is why I made this channel. If this video helps you, great, subscribe and watch the other videos. Or if it's somebody's podcast, or doing an act of kindness and holding the door for somebody, or listening to an audio, or reading the book, something, anything, whatever makes you feel like you believe in yourself and your abilities, even though your ideas are really weirdly different compared to what your family wants you to do. right? Chances are the thing that you are Michael Jordan at is not what your family wants you to do. Because your parents probably aren't Michael Jordan at what they did, right? They settled. And their advice, therefore, is to have you settle as well. No. Not gonna fly. I got Michael Jordan level talent at something, I'm gonna figure it out. And so whatever gets you into that mindset of believing it, you need to be around daily. You need it. You need a part of your morning routine. Whatever that thing is has to be in your morning routine, because if you wake up and did the thing that made you feel confident, made you feel bold, made you feel alive every single day, man, your life is going to be dramatically different. It just will. There's no chance you're the same person in a year. There's no chance you're in the same situation in a year. No chance. Not if you wake up and felt bold, did the thing that made you feel bold. You won't wake up and naturally feel bold. You have to inject something in. What is the thing that makes you feel bold, and doing that every single morning? It will change your life. And then when you find the thing that you have potential at, that energizes you, that you love, you go all in on it. You spend more time doing it. You invest in yourself to potentially become the best in the world. I wasn't a natural speaker. I wasn't a great speaker. It took me 6,000 videos to get to where I'm at right now. A lot of speaking, a lot of practicing, a lot of coaching. You can get great at anything. It's just a skill set. You can learn any skill set, but the thing that will give you the drive to learn the skill set to be the best is the love of the game, of the craft, of the thing. And it all starts from you deciding that you are Michael Jordan at something.
Rule number 6, focus on the right things.
One of my favorite quotes of all time is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's usually attributed to Henry Ford. From all of the videos that I've made, all of the successful people that I profiled, from industry titans to monks, one of the things that they all have in common is the ability to focus on the things that they can do to improve their situation. There are a million reasons why your idea will not work out, and 8 while it will. Successful people focus on the 8 reasons why it will succeed, and unsuccessful people focus on the million reasons why it won't. So it's time to decide, which one are you? I was recently on an Instagram live with an entrepreneur calling in from Dallas who's in his car, he's driving to work, and he's a solo entrepreneur right now, and he wants to build a team. He wants to build a business. He wants to get out of doing all the day-to-day and become an entrepreneur instead of just a self-employed person. So he said, well, how do I do it? How do I bridge the gap? How do I get from where I am right now to where I want to be? You need to focus on the right things. So I asked him, listen, man, what is the highest value use of your time? What is the thing that when you do it, it generates a huge yield for your business? What is that thing? And he said, prospecting. Amazing. How much time do you spend prospecting every day? And he said 2 hours. So I told him, spend 4. That's what you need to do. The thing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at, the thing that you are the best in the world at, that leads to big results for your business, that's where you need to spend more time on. Because you won't ever get to the point where you're hiring a team and building people out under you if you're not making enough money from your current activities, right? I don't want you to go into deep debt to hire your first person. I want you to figure it out on your own, but that comes from doing the things that you bring the highest value to. And so for him, spending 4 hours a day prospecting, building his business, bringing in more money, building his name, getting the referrals, getting his company off the ground will give him the margin to then be able to hire people underneath him. Now, it doesn't mean that in 5 years or 2 years or even a year, he's still doing prospecting. Maybe he moves on and does something else. Or maybe prospecting is the thing that he is the greatest in the world at. But right now, what is the greatest use of his time? It's prospecting. Great. 2 hours a day is not enough. Go to 4. Make it happen. That's the fastest way to grow your company. Focus. So how can you shift your focus and start getting the success you're after? I'm going to give you the 3-step process to find out how. Step number 1 is believe that you have Michael Jordan level talent. This frustrates me so much. Untapped potential is the thing that I'm trying to uncover in everybody. You need to believe that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You need to believe that you are the best, the absolute best in the world at something. And chances are it's not the thing that you went to school for, and it's not the thing that your parents want you to be, and it's not the thing that is usually done in your family or your culture or your community or your city. It's not the thing that's normally done. That's the thing that you could be the best in the world ever at. You need to believe that. If you don't believe that you have capabilities that are beyond what you're doing right now, you're never gonna grow, you're never gonna scale, you're never gonna accomplish it. You're gonna settle in life for all the things that are below your potential. So that's the first step. And whether it's watching my videos or reading a book or listening to a podcast or whatever it is that makes you come alive, you need to believe that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, even if you don't know what it is yet. Step number 2 is don't spend money until you're making it. It's so easy to spend money, and I see it happen to so many entrepreneurs. They quit their job, they go into debt, they're spending money, they run out of money, and then in 6 months they're back at another job. Don't spend money until you're making money. Don't focus on the wrong things. Focus on how can you use your effort, your energy, your time, the resources you do have to build this thing, to make it happen, to start making money. Spend your time on that. Spend your time on what you think will actually start to generate a return without you having to go and say, well, I need venture capital, I need an angel investor. There's so many ideas that just die on the table because entrepreneurs are unwilling to get out there and just start because you think you need capital. Raising capital becomes a full-time job. Raising capital becomes a full-time excuse for people to not take action on their dreams. So it's great to have a big plan, and it's great to think about how this thing could turn into some world-renowned organization. I love it, and for that you will need extra capital. Amazing. What are you gonna do right now? Don't focus on the money you don't have. Focus on what you can do with what you do have. It's always the answer. And step number 3 is focus on the highest use of your time. What is the highest use of your time? Just like the question that I asked to the guy who called in from his car on my Instagram live. For me, it's not prospecting. For him, it's prospecting. If I spent 4 hours a day prospecting, my business would tank. It's not what I'm great at. It's not what I want to get great at. It's not where my Michael Jordan level talents lie. I would be spending more time creating content, doing this. This is what I need to be doing more of. I need to be doing more helping entrepreneurs. I need to be doing more speaking, more videos, all of it, more. That's the best use of my time. What's the highest use of your time? This is an individual question. You can model success. I love it. You can learn from what I'm doing. You can learn from what he's doing. You can learn from Steve Jobs, Gopal Das, all of them. Yes, try on the hat and see what fits. But what is the highest use of your time? And then try to spend as much time doing that as possible. You won't spend 100% of your time doing the highest use of your time. Entrepreneurship is a lot of crap that goes along with it. There's a lot of stuff you have to do that you don't want to do. But if you're only spending 5% of your time on a thing that you could be Michael Jordan at, you're never going to get to the spot you need to be. So what is the highest use of your time, and then spend as much time as possible doing that.
Rule number 7, don't tie your self-worth to winning.
You're afraid of experimenting because you tie your self-worth to winning instead of trying. If you base your self-worth off how much you win, then you're only going to try things that you have a good chance of winning at. Thus, you play small for life. But instead, if you base your self-worth on trying, on the effort that you're putting in, you will fail on most days, but you'll end up accomplishing more than you ever thought was possible. So every time I go to a YouTube event, I'm always being praised by my thumbnails. People always say, Evan's got the best thumbnails, go look at his thumbnails, model his thumbnails, use them as an example for the best practice. And I internally am always saying our thumbnails suck. We need to get better. Sure, we might be among the best, but we need to get better. We could be way better than we are right now. Why have we become the best? Because I'm experimenting constantly. Most of my tests do not work. I use a tool called TubeBuddy. Shout out TubeBuddy, huge fan. We've done over 1,100 split tests on our thumbnails, where we run one thumbnail against another and one against another and one against another, trying to beat our best. And most of the experiments don't work. They just don't work. I recently ran an experiment of, on my main channel, putting my face on the thumbnail with the YouTube white border against Tony Robbins. And it tanked. It was like 80% worse than our current thumbnail. And that's okay. People don't like my face next to Tony Robbins. That is okay. I'm fine with it. I expect to lose. I expect everything I do not to work. But I'm willing to test it to see. I just recently came up with one thumbnail design where I made the background purple instead of black. Purple instead of black. And it actually did better. It did significantly better. And so now I'm testing it out on 5 more thumbnails to see, does the purple one do better than the black one? If that works out, maybe I roll it out across the entire channel. But it's very rare that I find the win. Out of the 1,100 experiments that we've done, most of them will not work, will never work. Even from the beginning, I'm thinking this is probably not gonna work, but I'm willing to test. That's okay. Even if the most likely outcome is failure, it's worth the test to see. I think we've been conditioned so much that failing is bad. that when you fail, you suck and everybody ridicules you, and then that's the end. The people who have won the most have failed the most. Jeff Bezos has failed the most. He's tried so many things and most of them do not work out, and that's fine. People don't see the losses when you've got a couple wins under your belt. But how do you get to the wins? Through all the losses, right? Most people, they take one bet, they lose because you don't know what you're doing the first time out. You lose and then you never get back and do it again. You never get up and try again. You settle for a mediocre life because you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. You're not meant to be an expert. You can never make it. And you tell this story to yourself. You just failed once. That's all. You should suck at the beginning. Most things should fail at the beginning. If you start studying success, and I've studied more successful people than most people, you'll see that it's a history of losses and failures and defeats in the micro that then they learn from. And they find one thing that works, and then they push all their chips in and go all in on that thing. That's the only difference. They're not any more special than you. They just are more willing to experiment, to try, and to fail. Now I've got a 3-step process to help you experiment more and stop caring so much what other people think that I think will help. Step number 1 is expect to suck at the start. Just expect to suck. It's crazy how people expect to be great the first time out. The first thumbnail that you're gonna make is gonna suck. The first person that you hire on your team is gonna suck. Not because they suck, it's because you suck as a manager, as a trainer, as a leader in hiring. You suck, it's your fault. Look at most companies and look at the first 10 people that they hired. Big companies, those 10 people aren't around anymore because the entrepreneur founder sucked at hiring. You will hire the wrong person. It doesn't mean that you can never hire people or should always be a solo entrepreneur. You just don't have that skill set yet. Okay, awesome. The first video that you make will suck. Go back and watch my first videos. They all sucked. I was completely embarrassed by the first 350 public videos on my channel. Completely embarrassed. Could not watch them back, ever. Awesome, keep going. You're gonna step up to the free throw line and try to shoot a basketball. You're not gonna get it in the first time, you just won't. I think actually if you're great the first time out, then you actually suck. Like if you get on camera and you make your first video and you're great, you suck. You should have started 4 years ago. You should have started way before. You've waited too long. You're sleeping and sitting on your talent. So expect to suck. Expect the first thing to have 0 results. And you're just paying attention to, did you enjoy the process? I may have sucked at making videos at the beginning, but I liked it. I liked the process. And I slowly got better. And with time and effort and practice and patience, I got better. 6,000 videos later, here I am with my channel. And hopefully I continue to get better. But it's always because I expect to suck at the beginning. Step number 2 is watch your language. This is really important. You need to watch the language that you say, especially to yourself. You can ask other people to catch it for you, but you try to catch it yourself. Anytime you hear yourself saying hard, difficult, or scary, hard, difficult, or scary, let that be a trigger. It's a trigger. You're not allowed to say that anymore. That is not an acceptable reason for you not to do something. Why are you not gonna make a video? Because it's hard. Nope. Because it's difficult. Nope. Because it's scary. Nope. No. You do hard. You do difficult. You do scary. You love it. You want to do hard, difficult, and scary. What's the opposite? The opposite of hard, difficult, and scary is you do things that you are already good at, that are inside your comfort zone. Thus, you hate your life. If there's nothing in your calendar for the next week, next month that is hard, difficult, or scary, you hate your life. You're just photocopying the same day over and over and over and over again. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. That's how it happens. And so it's a great little acid test. It's a great reminder that every time you hear yourself saying it, it's go time. You have to go do it. You have to, just because you said it. And have the people around you call you out on it too. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends, your family, your community, people around you. If you ever answer a question, I'm not gonna do it because it's hard, because it's difficult, or because it's scary, it's not an acceptable answer anymore. Because you do hard, you do difficult, and you love scary. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. Applaud the effort regardless of the result. I had a recent podcast with my friend Mark Drager, and I asked him, Mark, I need you to celebrate a point where you were proud of your effort, but you didn't get a result. Because he's so tied to getting results, which is great. But if you only tie your self-worth to getting results, you're gonna take small bets. You're only gonna play inside your comfort zone, and thus you play small for life. So I said, when was the last time that you were so proud of your effort, even though you didn't get a result? And he couldn't think of something on the spot. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're not rewarding it enough. Tie your self-worth to the effort. What have you done today, or what will you do today, this week, this month, that you're proud of the effort, even if the result is 0, even if the result is negative. You put up a video that you're working your face off to try to record and get out. You spend a whole day recording it. You finally get one. You post it and everybody laughs at you. It's a negative result. Most people probably won't even care. But let's say you get a negative. Awesome. I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for you. I use the example when people are afraid to ask me questions in workshops or seminars, and they finally come up and they do something. Whether it's just asking a question or performing or making a video or singing or whatever their talents are, come up and do it. Come on up and do it. And they're nervous and they're shy. And a lot of these people have been sitting on this talent for 5, 10 years and they haven't expressed it yet because they've been too afraid. And I tell them, even if you come up and you just vomit all over the place, you vomit all over me, I am pumped for you because you tried, because you stood up and you tried. Because if you got up every day and did that and you tied your self-worth to your effort instead of the results there are terrible, right? Really negative. You vomited on somebody. It's pretty bad. But if you got up every day and were proud of your effort, you got up again and you did it again and again and again and again, I promise you, get results. And way bigger results than if you just did things that kept you in your comfort zone.
Rule number 8, the last one before our very special bonus clip, just do you.
You don't do you because you're afraid of negative judgment. You're afraid of what your family will think. You're afraid of what your friends will think. You're afraid of what total strangers will think. You'll sing in the shower, but you won't sing outside walking down the street. Why? It's not because you're afraid of failing. It's because you're afraid of failing in front of other people. Until you crush that fear of judgment from other people, you will never accomplish the big goals in your life. And today I'm going to show you how. So last weekend I was in Dallas. I was doing a speech at Video Marketing World, which is a fantastic event put on every year in Dallas, where some of the top video creators come to try to help other people who are trying to get started in video marketing, build their business. And I had a really important session at the front, and I was nervous going into it because I just made a big move on my YouTube channel. My main channel, I split into 8 or 9 multiple different channels. So now instead of just running my main channel, we got channels like this, which is dedicated to its own channel. Now, when I was thinking about doing a move, it was recommended to me by Matt Gielen, who's one of 5 people who I would really listen to for YouTube advice. There's 5 people in the world who said, Evan, you suck on YouTube. Here are the things that you should do to get better, right? I'm at the cutting edge. There's 5 people who I'd listen to. One of them is Matt Gielen, and he told me to split up my channel. Another one of the 5 is Jeremy Vest, and he told me don't do the split up. I've known Jeremy for a number of years. He's helped me a lot. I've helped him a lot. I really respect his opinion. He said, do not split up the channels. It's better to keep them all on one channel. And so I'm faced with the dilemma, which one do I do? And I decided that I'd rather know and fail than not know, that I would rather do it because I know what my channel looks like now, having all the videos on one channel. I know what that looks like. I didn't know what having multiple channels looked like. And so I'd rather know and fail than not know. But here's the thing. Why do I tell this story? Because when I'm in Dallas, the person who was putting on the event was Jeremy Vest. The guy who told me not to split up the channels. The guy who said, this is a mistake, you shouldn't do it, you should keep all the videos on one channel. And what did I end up doing? I did the opposite, right? I did what Matt said and not Jeremy. And so I knew this question would come up when I was on stage because everybody there knew that I had split up my channels and was wondering how it would work out. And my default response, as I thought about it, was I don't want to go deep into the story because Jeremy is here in the room and this is his event. He's not just attending, he's hosting it. This is his event. I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make it seem like he's on a spot or that I wouldn't want to listen to his advice because I love him and respect him and I love hearing his perspective. But the fact that I was afraid of it meant that I had to do it. That's something that I've trained myself to do that I want you to train yourself to do as well. That the fact that you are afraid of what somebody else is going to say or think means you have to do it. You have to step into it. You can't teach yourself that when you think of something and you're afraid that you play small. It's better not even to think about it. It's better not to catch your insecurity. When you catch it, you have to train yourself to go off and do it. And then I default to thinking, okay, well, how can I do this in a way that is respectful to Jeremy, that is loving to Jeremy, that I can show people how much I appreciate his feedback, that I don't make him look bad at his own event. How can I do that? And then that question asking leads you to better answers. And so it came up, just like I thought it was gonna come up. And I talked about it, and Jeremy wasn't offended, and Jeremy did not look bad. and I accomplished my objective. And I did it, made myself feel proud because I was nervous, because I was afraid. And so that's what I want to teach you, that the next time that you're afraid, that the next time you're feeling small, that the next time you're worried about somebody else's opinions of you, that you go and you take action, that you do the thing. Because you cannot play small for life. If you are worried about what people think of you, you will never accomplish the big goals in your business because you have big goals. You're an entrepreneur, you want to do amazing things. You have big ambitions. That will never happen if you're afraid of what one person is going to think of you. Because as your vision is bigger, the more people are going to attack you. And you need to develop that thick skin and ask yourself, how can I do it? How can I take my approach with as much caring, compassion, understanding as possible, but I need to get out there and put my message forward. Now, if you're struggling with this, I have a 3-step process I'm gonna walk you through that I think will help. Step number 1 is the boom, boom, boom test. So as I was telling that story, you might've seen me tap my chest here, right? This is the boom, boom, boom test. When your heart is going boom, 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 that's a sign to go. It's go time, it's show time, let's move, we're making this happen. Train yourself that when you feel nervous, scared, your heart's beating out of your chest like this, that you have to step into it and do it. Now, as long as you're not violating your code of ethics, right? We're not gonna steal from somebody because it makes your heart go boom. We're not gonna jump out of an airplane with no parachute because it makes you afraid, right? Don't do something stupid. Most of the things you're afraid of, though, are around other people's judgments, other people's expectations, other people's opinions. That's what mostly causes this. We're afraid of letting people down. We're afraid of looking bad in front of somebody's eyes, right? When you feel that, if you can catch it, because a lot of times you won't catch it, you'll just play small by default. I think we play small by default. But when you do catch it, you teach yourself, I feel my heart beating out of my chest. That means it is go time. Number 2 is understand that it's not fatal. It's not fatal. Whatever the thing is that you're trying to do is not fatal if you make a mistake. Even if I made Jeremy look really bad on stage, right? Even if I went in with love and compassion and I screwed up the whole story, it's still not fatal. I can still make it up to him. I can still go back and show him insane love and apologize, right? It's not fatal. Whatever you're worried about, whatever this judgment is that you're afraid is holding you back because somebody's gonna look at you and say something, it's not fatal. That's not gonna stick with you for life. People move on. You're not that important. That video that you put up that you think everybody's gonna laugh at and say what an embarrassment, tomorrow they're on to something else. Nobody's gonna remember tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years that you made this embarrassing video. But you will remember not doing it. You will remember in 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You will remember in 20 years that you did not take your shot, that you did not do the thing that you wanted to do because you were afraid. You will remember, but nobody else will. You will remember if you don't do it, and nobody else will if you do. You have to do it. You got to step up and tell yourself that this thing, even though it's scary, even though it's making your heart boom, boom, boom like this, it is not fatal. You can recover. And step number 3 is take the pillow test. I need a pillow. Where's the pillow? This is one of my favorite things to do, the pillow test. The pillow test is, you've got this pillow, right? You're gonna sleep at night. This is you at night, sleeping like a baby. I had such a great day. I changed so many lives, sleeping like a baby, right? That's you, okay, great. Before you put your head on the pillow here at night, you have to make yourself proud. And this is something that only you can tell you about. I can't tell you if you should be proud of yourself or not. Your friends, your family, your husband, wife, your kids, nobody else can but you. This is an inside job. Do you feel proud of yourself today for the actions and the effort that you put in? Not the results, the actions and the efforts. You were nervous, you were scared, you did it. Whether you won or not, whether you accomplished or not, I don't care. I care that you did it. I care that you made yourself proud. So tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, before you go to sleep and think about what an amazing life you have, right? Before you do that, ask yourself, did I make myself proud? Did I do something that was scary that made myself proud? And if yes, great, go to sleep. If not, get out of bed and go do something. Send an email, commit to somebody, post something, make a video, something to make yourself feel proud. Because if you woke up every day and sometime during that day, you did something that made you scared, that then made you feel proud of yourself, that when you take the pillow test and sleep tonight, you're proud of the effort you put in, holy cow, I guarantee you're gonna generate some amazing results over the next month, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, rest of your life. Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to take some action. But when you watch a video, you get motivated and you create a specific plan of action, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you publicly commit to other people, like leaving a comment down in this video, your number jumps to 95% chance of you actually following through on the plan you set for yourself. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you. George Bernard Shaw famously said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." The entrepreneurs who win are the unreasonable women and men who are trying to make a difference. You're different. You don't fit in. Stop trying to. Instead, make the world adapt to you. I want to tell you a story about Guan Yu and his Guan Dao. Let me get my prop. So, this is a heavy statue made of bronze. Let's hope my desk doesn't collapse from this. We good? Can we see? Okay, good. This is Guan Yu. Guan Yu is a legendary Chinese general, god of war, and he was a huge man in Chinese history. He was huge by stature, giant. He was bigger than everybody else that he was fighting against. So when he was getting started in fighting, when people gave him a regular sword or staff or spear, it was so light for him. It was too easy for him because he was such a giant beast of a man. And so instead of just taking the tools that everybody else was using, he made his own weapon called the Guan Dao. It's this crazy thing right here. It's this crazy, staff with a giant blade on the end of it. Guan Dao. Nobody else could lift this thing because it was so heavy. But he had it crafted for him because he could lift it, and it made him even more powerful than everybody else because he had this giant weapon that he was using in all of his fights. That's what I think entrepreneurs need to do. That's what you need to do. You are a genius. You are Michael Jordan at something. You are Guan Yu at something. The greatest fighter in China at the time, right? That's you at something. And for you to win, you need to have your own Guan Dao. You need to craft your weapon, craft your business, craft your habits, craft your activities, craft the people around you so that you can leverage what you're naturally great at. I make videos, right? I love having my own message. I love DJing content. It's what I love doing. I can make 4 videos a day across my channels because I have a team of people who help create all of this stuff. If it was just me doing everything, I would not be making the content that I am. I built the business around me, what I'm great at, what I love doing, what I want to continue to excel and improve at. You need to find the same thing for you. You are a Guan Yu. You are a Michael Jordan. It's time to embrace that. And then create something that hasn't been created before. That's what entrepreneurs are doing. Create your Guan Dao to let you do what you're so good at an even higher level. So I've got a 3-step process to help you believe more in your Michael Jordan, Guan Yu level talent. I hope it helps. Step number 1 is trust your bold ideas. I believe that the ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold, when you're feeling confident, are actually the best things for you. When you're in a state of feeling like you're the best, you're full of motivation for whatever reason, whatever happened, maybe it's after watching this video, you feel like things are possible and you decide something, or you can come up with an idea for something like, I should go do that. That is the best idea for you. And then your head talks you down from it. Then you wake up the next day and say, oh, I can't do that. Who am I to do that? I don't have the resources, the skills, the time, the money, the connections to do that. I can't do that. And then with each day that passes, you feel less and less and less confident that you can do that. Your head talks you down from the big ideas. Hold on to them. The ideas that you come up with when you're feeling bold are the best ones for you. You have to chase those down. So the next time you get that bold idea, when you're feeling confident, trust in it. Believe in it. Chase it down. It's your duty. It's your obligation. It's your destiny. It's your future. Let's go. Step number 2 is think big, act small. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs fall down. You've got this big dream, big goal. You want to change the world. I love it. Yes, that dream you have to have that will motivate you and the people around you to keep going, because a lot of it is really hard. Without that big dream that you're chasing down, it's hard to stay motivated every day. And at the same time, you need to act small. Just start. Just take the smallest possible step and build momentum. The thing that's missing from so many entrepreneurs, from most of you, is not lack of ideas, it's not lack of genius, it's not lack of even ability, it's lack of momentum. You're just not doing enough. And so as soon as you get an idea, do something about it. You're thinking big, awesome, acting small. So you have that bold idea, amazing. What ends up happening to so many entrepreneurs is, well, in order for that to happen, I need to get venture capital. I need to get funding. I need to get a team. There's no way I could do it by myself. And you keep making that vision bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's scary. And it makes you feel like you can't do it without the right resources, connections, people, team around you. So to combat that, you need to get started. You just do it. You start. You want to start a YouTube channel? Amazing. Pull out a phone and go. Today, right now, immediate action. Let's go. Think big, start small. Don't worry about the lighting and the microphone and the camera and the gear and the people and the editing. It'll come with time. The biggest thing that's missing is momentum. Think big, act small. And step number 3 is remember the Wayne Gretzky rule. The Wayne Gretzky rule is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's so many entrepreneurs. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs have come to me and they get upset because they see somebody else getting rich off of their idea. Somebody else is getting rich. Dummies are getting rich off of your idea. They're making money. They're having an impact off of your idea. The difference is they just did something. They got started. Where you're still thinking and planning and tinkering and writing your business proposal out instead of actually going out and doing. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to score a goal every time you take a shot. But the more shots you take, the better chance you give yourself of actually getting an outcome.
If you want to learn Evan's best advice for a 15-year-old, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
I wanted advice for a 15-year-old. Any advice at all?
Test, like taste, try, right? You don't know what you love yet.